Okay, so today we're going to dive into something I think really special.
Yeah.
The Pujols Family Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just your sort of typical celebrity charity.
Right.
We're talking about a really personal mission.
Absolutely.
Driven by faith, by family, and, a commitment to helping those in need.
And I think what's so captivating is how it really intertwines Albert Pujols' incredible baseball career with this deeply personal journey that his family has been on, navigating life with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And I think that they've really created genuine bridges between the MLB world and the Down syndrome community.
Right. And it all begins really with Albert's story.
Mm-hmm.
Born in the Dominican Republic, moved to the U.S. when he was 16. Real baseball prodigy.
Yeah.
Drafted in the 13th round, which, not
A
exactly.
sure bet.
Not a sure bet.
Yeah.
But defied all the odds.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year, multiple MVP awards, a World Series champion. But what's amazing is that even amidst all of that whirlwind of success, he was laying the groundwork for something even bigger.
Absolutely. And that's what's so striking to me is that, throughout all this success, he was always thinking about how to leverage that to give back and to make a real difference.
Okay, so imagine this. He's 18.
Okay.
He's playing for the Cardinals minor league team.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets Deidre at, wait for it, the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, wow.
Right. Talk about a relatable setting.
I love that.
For a life-changing encounter.
Yeah.
And on their first date, she tells him about her infant daughter, Isabella, who has Down syndrome.
Wow.
I mean, that's a bold move.
That is, yeah.
That says so much about both of them.
It really does.
And then 2 years later, they get married.
Wow.
Albert embraces his role as Isabella's dad. And, that experience really profoundly shapes his worldview.
It's not just about becoming a father, but it's understanding, the real joys and challenges that families face when they're raising children with Down syndrome.
And so in 2005, the Pujols Family Foundation is born.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a coincidence, I don't think, that this is the same year that Albert hit that unforgettable home run during the NLCS.
Right.
This peak moment,
Yeah.
in his career. He was already thinking about using his platform for something way bigger than baseball.
I think it's so clear that this was not just an afterthought or a PR move.
Yeah.
It was so deeply ingrained in who they were as a family.
Absolutely. And starting in St. Louis, where he was playing for the Cardinals at the time,
Right.
They launched programs that were geared towards children with Down syndrome and their families.
Yeah, and it's really important to highlight their emphasis on acceptance.
Yes.
Not just awareness.
Right.
So it's about fostering a world where individuals with Down syndrome are not just acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
They're fully integrated and celebrated.
Okay, so fast forward to 2012. Albert signs with the Angels.
Yep.
Moves to Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean leaving the foundation behind?
Nope, not at all.
Not a chance.
They took it with them and actually expanded their reach, bringing their mission to a whole new community.
It's a commitment
It is.
to making an impact.
Absolutely.
That lasts.
Yeah.
They Ross all sorts of events in Orange County, cooking classes, golf tournaments.
Wow.
They even had proms that were specifically designed for high schoolers with Down syndrome.
That's amazing.
And they constantly found ways to connect these kids with the Angels.
I love that, one of the things that really stood out to me was how they actually made an effort to create employment opportunities for individuals with Down syndrome, helping them get jobs at the Angels team stores.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about, charity, it was about empowerment.
Yeah, and I love how they went above and beyond to make sure that these kids had great time at Angel Stadium.
Yes.
Even arranging for them to see fireworks after a game.
That's so special.
They're creating memories.
Yeah.
They're creating a sense of belonging.
And it's evident that the foundation's work goes so far beyond, superficial gestures.
Yeah.
It's about genuine inclusion and creating opportunities for these families to really thrive.
And speaking of genuine, we can't forget about Albert's personal touch.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is a superstar, right?
Yeah.
But he's right there in the thick of it, interacting with the kids.
I love that.
Remembering their names, shooting hoops with them, playing basketball with them.
Yeah. And you can really see it in the testimonials from the families, like Lisa Frazier. Her son, Jeremy, has Down syndrome.
Right.
And she talks about how Albert always makes eye contact and talks directly to Jeremy, not around him.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a critical detail because it's about recognizing the individual,
right,
not the disability.
You know, those little things make a huge difference.
They do.
It shows that it's not about celebrity photo ops.
Right.
It's about authentic human connection.
And I think it sets such a powerful example for everyone, showing that inclusivity really starts with how you treat people, with dignity and respect.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the Down syndrome community, which is, of course, incredibly important. But the Pujols Family Foundation actually has a broader mission, right?
They do, absolutely. Yeah. They structure their work around what they call 3 pillars.
Okay.
So we've touched on the first one, supporting the Down syndrome community.
Right.
But their work extends to 2 other vital areas.
Okay, what are those?
So the second one focuses on improving the lives of impoverished communities in the Dominican Republic.
So going back to his roots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about sending aid, it's about building sustainable solutions.
Yeah.
So providing education, medical relief, and basic necessities to entire communities.
So tackling poverty at its core.
Exactly, trying to break those cycles. And then the third pillar focuses on providing extraordinary experiences for children with disabilities or life-threatening illnesses.
So expanding the scope.
Yes.
But always with that same thread of,
that thread of joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
And inclusion.
So it's a holistic approach, right?
It is.
Driven by this belief in the worth and the potential.
The inherent worth of every individual.
Of every single person.
Exactly.
So we've seen how personal connection sparked a movement.
Mm-hmm.
And now this foundation is making a difference on multiple fronts.
Multiple fronts. And I think it's such a powerful reminder that individual actions really can have these ripple effects, changing lives and inspiring others to give back as well. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
But there's so much more to explore.
There is.
And we will be back very soon to continue our journey into the heart of the Pujols Family Foundation.
Sounds good.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. It's amazing to me, when you think about how the foundation's impact goes beyond just the direct aid that they're providing.
Right.
They've really fostered this deeper understanding of Down syndrome, not just in the baseball world, but in society as a whole.
You're absolutely right. And I think having someone like Albert Pujols, who's a sports icon, champion this cause, it changes people's perception.
Totally.
It's not just about awareness anymore.
Right.
It's about really shifting attitudes.
Exactly. And it challenges those stereotypes.
Right.
And when those perceptions shift, I think that's when we start to see real change happen.
So let's talk about some of that tangible impact.
Okay.
We know they organize events, but can you give us some specific examples that really highlight their commitment to this community?
Yeah, so one that comes to mind is their prom night for high schoolers with Down syndrome.
Oh, I've heard about these.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
It's not just a dance, right? It's about creating a space where these teens can really be themselves and socialize and build friendships.
I feel comfortable and safe.
Exactly. In an inclusive environment.
Yeah, so it's so much more than just, getting dressed up and going to a dance.
It is.
It's about, empowerment and,
And I think those connections, often extend beyond the event itself.
Right.
The foundation really fosters this network where these families can share experiences, offer support, find resources.
It's like building a community within a community.
Exactly.
So we've got the proms. We talked about the game outings at Angel Stadium. I mean, those sound pretty special.
They are. And I think, for these families, it's about more than just watching a baseball game.
Yeah.
It's about experiencing something together as a family.
Right.
Making memories and feeling like they belong.
Yeah, it normalizes the experience, right?
It does.
Like, we're just going out to a bowl game.
Right.
Like any other family.
Like anyone else.
And I think back to those job opportunities at the team store.
Right.
That we were talking about earlier.
Such a crucial aspect.
I mean, that's empowerment.
It is.
Right.
It's giving them a sense of purpose and helping them integrate into the workforce.
It's a win-win, right?
Totally.
It benefits the individual, but it also sends this message to employers about inclusivity and
the value of
it, right? Yeah. But, I'm curious, running a foundation like this, it can't be all smooth sailing, right?
Definitely not.
What are some of the challenges that you think they face?
Well, I think, funding's a big one.
Yeah.
For any nonprofit.
Right.
These programs.
They need money.
They need money to operate.
Yeah, and I imagine just coordinating events for so many people.
Oh, absolutely.
Many of whom have,
specific needs.
Specific needs.
I mean, logistically, that must be a challenge.
It is, and finding qualified staff,
right,
who are passionate about this mission,
right,
and have the right skills to work with these families,
right.
That's a challenge.
It's a complex undertaking.
It is.
But it seems like they've managed to navigate all of that.
They have. You know, they've been incredibly resilient, resourceful, adapting to changing circumstances, finding creative solutions. They haven't been afraid to ask for help, partner with other organizations to really maximize their impact.
And let's not forget about the personal sacrifices.
Oh, of course not.
That Albert and Deidre have made.
Huge sacrifices.
Balancing this high-profile career, raising a family, and then running a foundation on top of that.
That's a lot.
I mean,
It is.
It is.
It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
But it really speaks to their commitment.
Yeah.
They've poured their hearts and souls into this work.
And it shows. And I think it resonates with people.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons the foundation's been so successful.
One thing that stands out to me is the foundation's emphasis on personal connection.
Yes.
It's not just about providing services, right?
Right.
It's about building relationships.
Yeah, I read a story about how Albert and Deidre would often host families at their home for barbecues and game nights.
That's lovely.
Just these really simple gestures that create a sense of normalcy and connection.
Yeah, those personal touches, I think, speak volumes.
They do.
It's about breaking down those barriers and showing that people with Down syndrome and their families are just like everyone else.
Exactly.
They have the same hopes and dreams.
Absolutely. The same desires for friendship and belonging and joy.
Yeah, and it's those little acts of kindness, those little acts of inclusion that can really have this ripple effect, changing people's hearts and minds.
It's about changing hearts and minds, and it's about creating a more welcoming an inclusive world.
For everybody.
Everyone.
It all comes back to that acceptance piece.
It does.
It does.
It all comes back to that.
And that's something that we can all contribute to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Probably,
even in small ways.
Yeah. What's one thing that you can do today?
Right.
Right?
It could be as simple as, challenging a stereotype that you hear.
Right.
Or, educating yourself about, the lived experiences of people who are different from you.
Yeah.
Or just reaching out to someone who might be feeling marginalized.
Absolutely. It's being mindful.
It is.
It's being empathetic.
And recognizing the value in every individual.
Yeah. And that, creating this more inclusive world, it's a collective effort, right?
It is.
It takes all of us.
It takes all of us.
And every little thing that we do.
Every act of kindness, every voice that's raised against injustice.
Yes.
Every bridge that's built between communities.
It brings us closer.
It brings us closer.
To that goal.
To that goal.
Of a truly inclusive society.
The Pujols Family Foundation has shown us what is possible.
They have.
When you combine passion, purpose, and that belief.
Yeah.
In the power of human connection.
It's an incredible story.
It's an amazing story.
And really inspiring.
Inspiration.
To see how they've woven those values into everything they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it reminds us that we all have the power to make a difference. And even amidst, the challenges, there's always room for hope and compassion and joy.
It's so true. This has been a really moving exploration.
It has.
Of the Pujols Family Foundation.
Yeah.
We've seen how their journey began, the lives that they've touched,
absolutely,
the impact that they've made.
Incredible.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
No, it's not.
We'll be right back to wrap up this incredible story and consider what it might inspire us to do in our own lives. As we wrap up our deep dive into the Pujols Family Foundation, one thing that really strikes me is just the incredible ripple effect. Of their work.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've talked about the direct impact, but, their story also serves as this powerful inspiration.
It does.
To all of us.
It really does.
Right. I mean, it doesn't have to be about these grand gestures or, massive resources. It can be those everyday acts of kindness, of understanding, of inclusion.
Exactly.
The Pujols family really shows us that it's about treating everyone with dignity, with respect, recognizing that inherent worth in every individual.
Absolutely.
It's been such a remarkable journey.
It has.
From a personal connection to a global movement.
It's amazing.
I mean, they've touched countless lives.
Yeah.
And really changed perceptions along the way.
They really have. And I think they've done it with such authenticity and heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's clear that their work is driven by genuine compassion and this deep commitment to creating a more just and loving world.
So to our listener, we leave you with this thought. What is one small step that you can take today to create a more inclusive and supportive world for people with disabilities?
You know, it could be as simple as challenging a stereotype that you hear, or educating yourself about the lived experiences of people different from you, or reaching out to someone who might be feeling marginalized.
You know, creating a more inclusive world, it is a collective effort.
It is.
It takes all of us.
It does.
You know, every act of kindness, every voice that's raised against injustice, every bridge that's built between communities.
Absolutely.
It brings us closer to that goal. It does.
The Pujols Family Foundation has shown us what's possible.
They really have.
When you combine passion, purpose, and a belief in the power of human connection.
Absolutely.
Their story is an inspiration.
It is.
A testament to that transformative power of love. And the potential that lies within each of us to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Brought to you by Pocket, an AI-powered operating system for care centers supporting people with IDD and neurodivergent people.
Learn more at www.pocket.cm.